Hello everybody, it's Crafty Rhea, and I'm back again with another video. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today I will be making this Christmas ornament, and instead of just using paper, I'm going to try it with recycled Christmas cards. My friend Jennifer sent me a message on Facebook, and she gave me the link of a video where this gentleman made these Christmas trees. I think the video is about 4 years old. Great video. He did a great job. I'm going to go ahead and link it below since I can't teach it probably as good as he could. He did a fantastic job. But she said in her message, I'll read it to you, I'd love to see a video of your hand at this one and possibly what you could use in place of the gold wire that might just be laying around. So there's a couple thoughts that I had. I went ahead and used wire on this one, but there's a couple thoughts that I had for that. Of course, I love to recycle Christmas cards, so I'm going to try making this with a Christmas card instead of paper. The only problem is a Christmas card is made out of cardstock, and it's a lot harder to fold and crease nicely unless you score it first. Paper is really easy to fold. So I'm going to do my best. We're going to work at this together, and I'll show you the basic folds first. You will need 5 pieces of paper for this. 4 of them will be squares. The biggest one is 3.5 inches, and then 3 inches, 2.5 inches, and 2 inches. And this piece will be 12 inches long by 5/8 inches wide. And I have already cut one of those. This part you probably will not be able to do with a recycled Christmas card. I think it has to be a thin piece of paper, but I have an extra piece of this red handy to show you how to make that little star. You may already know how to do that. I've never made them before. This is new to me. Okay, so we're going to start with a square piece of paper. I made this one a little bigger. This is 4 inches, but I wanted to be able to show you how to do it. And it's just white on the back. You can use double-sided paper. The thicker your paper is, the harder it's going to be to get these folds. So I'm going to show you on just a regular piece of paper. If you have origami paper, that's probably the best to use. So you're going to start with it with the pattern side up. Or if it's, two-sided, then your outside pattern up. And you're just going to start off by folding it in half. Super easy. If you have a bone folder, perfect. You will probably need this. And then you're going to turn it 90 degrees and fold it the other way. Super easy. You have an X. You have a cross here. Then you're going to turn the paper over so the pattern side or the outside is down. And then you're going to fold it from point to point. I'm going to hold it up just so I can make sure I get this exactly folded. And then you're going to unfold it, and you're going to turn it, and you're going to just fold it this other way. So there, you have a square and a triangle. And if you folded it together, you'd end up with a triangle like that. Super easy. I'm going to mark on here with a marker my lines, a couple of lines. First of all, this piece here, this fold here is going to be important. And these two. Okay, those are going to be your landmarks. And you're also, the other important piece is this center right there where everything pivots. So you'll kind of want to loosen your paper up, get this piece. What you're going to do is take this and bring it up to here, but have it fold at this pivot point. So you let the paper do the work and you just bring it up and you line it up right there and you fold it down. And then you unfold that one, and you're going to do the same thing with this one. You're going to bring it up to that line, to the crease, and you're just going to crease it. And each time you want to make sure it is folding right at that pivot point. And then you're going to turn it over, and on the sides that you did not fold in, you're just going to squeeze them in and work this down. And there you have your pieces for the Christmas tree. And you'll end up with 4 of these in different sizes. This one is obviously bigger. You can make them any size you want, but that's the basic fold. I'm going to do it with the Christmas cards, but we're going to score it first, except for that last fold, because that one's almost impossible to score. So I picked some Christmas cards. I thought I could use the Christmas trees, but then I thought I would probably need 4 cards to make one. So just for the sake of this video, I thought I would use these, and I could use this piece as one and this as a square. These are pretty thin. They're not super duper thick. Like this one I thought was pretty, but it has a lot of glitter and it's a much thicker cardstock. And I think it's going to be harder to fold. So let's try it with these. So I want to first cut the fronts off. And like I said, you can use paper or whatever you happen to have. Go through your Christmas scrap papers and pull them out. So for the bottom card, I think they're both the same. They're exactly the same. They have a little bit different color. This one's a little darker, so I'm going to cut the bottom piece out of this. And I'm going to do 3.5 inches, and I want to see with my 3.5 inch mark, I probably will go all the way to the bottom and cut 3.5 up into this. Maybe I'll cut a little bit off this bottom. And then I'm going to cut 3.5. I'll set this aside for one of the smaller pieces. And this has more green on this left side, so I think I will cut it at 3.5 with as much greenery as I can. So there we have that piece. And then I need to cut a piece that is 3 inches, and I'll use this card because I have more room to work with. I will cut this red part down to 3 inches. And then I will cut it 3 inches on either side. So then I have that piece for 3. And then I'm going to use this. I'll use this part up here to do 2.5 inch square. That's my 2.5. And then I will use the center of this for my 2 inch square. And that's my 2 inch square. So we have those pieces. So in order to do this, I thought it would be easiest to score the paper. And I want to mark the 1/2 inch or the center portion. I can use my centering ruler. I just happen to know where the center of this one's going to be. Let me get my pencil. And I'm just going to mark my center there. and my center on this side, just so I know where I'm scoring. And I'll do that with all of these. And this one would be, I'm going to just mark here 1.5 inches because I can just score them at those lines. And this one will be at 1.25 inches, 1.25. And this one should be just the 1 inch, right? Yes, 1 inch. So I have my scoring board, and I'm going to go ahead and score my paper in this direction. And this will be 1.25 inches where you're going to score your big one. You're going to score it 1.25 and 1.25. And I'm just going to go ahead and score all of my papers on that. And on this one, you're going to score at 1.5 inch. Sorry, that was 1.75 inch. This is 1.5. And this one is 1.25. And this one is at 1 inch. Okay. Then I will turn it the opposite way, and I will score from corner to corner. I want to make sure that I have it lined up on the same, yep. It's a little harder to make sure I have it lined up on the same line. You want to make sure you're scoring from corner to corner. The smaller they are, the easier they will be to do. There we go. I'm going to see if I can mark my thing there. There we go. That's my 2-inch channel. Nope, I didn't mark it at the right channel. That's my 2.25 inch channel. There we go. And I will do the same thing here with my 2.25 inch channel. It's a little easier on the smaller ones because you can follow the line. You just want to score them from corner to corner. Okay, so I have all those scored. I'm going to put my scoring board away. And we'll start with the biggest one. And we'll go ahead and fold it like he did on the video. You're going to fold it with the pattern side up, and you're going to fold it like an X in the middle. And then you're going to turn it the other way and fold it corner to corner. And you're going to make your diagonal folds. I'll do that to all of them, and then I will put them together, or do the hard folds all at once. It does make a difference that you are folding them this way, because when you go to do that difficult fold, it will come together a little bit better. And then again, you'll start with it with the pattern side up, fold it what they call a hot dog fold, which is make 2 rectangles, and then the pattern side down, and you're going to make 2 triangle folds once, and then you'll rotate it and do a second one. Okay, and then on the largest one, I will show you again what we're doing. You're going to put it so the points are perpendicular to your body, up and down, and then you're going to take this fold here and bring it right on up to that. And see how the paper is kind of folding itself because you want it to pivot at this point here. So you're going to kind of let it do its thing. Let those creases line up, and it's just kind of, I'll show you this way, it's kind of standing up on its own. And this is where you'll have to be kind of careful. You'll want to hold it there with one hand and then just work this fold down easily with the other hand. I left out that second step. So there you go. You have your bottom piece to your Christmas tree. Let's do it again on this middle size. So you're going to have the points facing up and down, and you're going to bring this corner or this fold up to this center fold here, pivoting at the very center of the paper. Let the paper do the work. Let your creases that you already have do the work. And fold that down. Use your bone folder and make a good crease. Bring it back, and now you're going to want to bring this piece up. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Then you're going to unfold it, and then you're going to take it and pattern side up, squeeze it together, and bring these pieces down to get that diamond shape. I hope that makes sense. Let's do one more here. Well, we have to do 2 more. Again, you're going to have it, the points far away, up and down. You're going to bring this fold to that center point. You're going to hold it down and crease that. And then you're going to bring the other fold up, hold it down, and crease that. Then you are going to bring your 2 pieces together here and fold your piece down. So then you have that piece. And now the last piece, it gets a little harder on the little ones. Have your points going up and down. You're going to make sure you pivot on that center piece. Line the fold up. Hold it in place really good. It's a little harder on the small one, but there. You are taking this piece and lining it up with that center. And then you will take it and flip it over, bring your 2 pieces together, and flatten out that little diamond shape. And sometimes you just got to work it down a little bit. Like I said, it's a little harder to get those creases to work on cardstock than it is paper. So there you have your 4 pieces. And then you will also need some wire. I have this craft wire. It is 26 gauge. The wire he used in the video was much thicker. I don't have anything thicker than this. At least not handy. So I have this. If you wanted to use ribbon or twine or something like that, you would need a needle or something like that to push it up through. You'll see what I'm talking about in a few minutes. But you would need something on that ribbon, and you would probably need to tie a bead at the bottom end. Before we put this together though, I do want to make the star for the top of the tree. And this is only the second time I've ever made one, so please bear with me. This is 5/8 inch wide by 12 inches long. And what you're going to do, you're going to start it by just taking your paper and tying a knot. You want to bring it down just like you're tying a knot. So you start with your paper like this, bring it around, bring that through, and you're going to tie it in a knot, being careful not to split your paper or to crease it until you get it to the size you want it. You want to bring your knot as close to this free end as you can, and you want to make it as tight as you can without ripping your paper. And then once you get it down, you can kind of crease it down. You can see how it is on both sides. And you want to pull each side. I'm pulling this piece, I'm holding this and pulling this piece out. And then I'm holding this and pulling this piece out. So that way, both pieces are snug around that paper. Because if it's not snug around that paper, you're not going to get a good star. Okay? So then you're going to turn it over where you have your little flap, and you're going to fold your little flap over to make it even with the side. And my little flap's a little long, so I'm just going to trim that, and I'm going to tuck it in. Actually, I don't need to tuck it in. It's fine the way it is. That should stay. And then you're going to just use this piece and keep folding it around as you go. And the paper will tell you where to go. So you will take your paper and you're going to fold it over, and see how it naturally lays flat this way. That's the way you're going to go. And then you're going to turn it over, and then take your paper and fold it flat against this side, and see how it just naturally goes right across there. And then you're going to fold it. And you're going to pull it tight each time. You see how then it naturally goes against that side, and you're going to just fold it. And then you're just going to keep going around until you run out of paper. I don't know if this exactly has to be 12 inches long. I think you get a good result with it being 12 inches long, and since most of us have scrapbook paper that's 12 inches long, it works out great. So you just fold it along, and you just have your little 5-sided shape. And then when you fold your last piece, you're going to tuck it in. Just tuck it right on in. And you can put a dab of glue if you need it. I don't think it needs it. I'm going to just give it a try. So you have this shape. Then you're going to take it and you're going to hold it like this, and you're going to take this thumb, and I'm using my thumbnail. You're just going to push it in. Just give it a dent. And it's okay if it doesn't make a perfect dent the first time around. That's okay. See how I just dented it? Then I'm going to rotate it, hold that dent, and I'm going to dent this next one in. And then I'm going to rotate it and dent this one. You see what I'm doing? I'm just pushing in on each side to make a star. And then I'll take this side and just push it in. And this side and push it in. And then what you want to do is to go back And you want to work your pieces till you kind of get a star shape. Now, the back of mine is a little flat. It should puff out more into a, see how the back of mine flattened out? But that's okay. I'm just going to go with it for now. Yours should puff out a little bit more. As you can see on my original one, it puffed out on both sides. I may have been holding it too tight. So I have another strip, so let's do that one more time. I have one more strip. I'm going to take your paper and tie it in a knot. And you want to bring it as close to the end of the paper as you can. And make your knot as tight as you can. And you want to pull each side so as not to crease your paper or not to tear your paper. You'll want to pull that and you'll want to pull that. There you go. And then turn it over and fold that piece in and trim it so it's not overhanging too far. Then you're going to start your fold. So I'm going to do this one a little bit faster. You're just going to keep turning and folding, letting the paper just lay flat each time. Creighton's very excited. And then your last piece, you're going to tuck it in. Now I'm going to try holding it a little bit more loosely in this hand and see if I can get a better puff. Yeah, there we go. I think I held it too tightly the other time. There we go. I'm getting a good puff. And as you can see, it is puffed out on both sides. Very cool. I really like that. That's a lot of fun. Okay, so now let's go ahead and assemble this Christmas tree. You're going to take your scissors. Mine have some goop on them. I'll take these scissors instead. And you're going to go and snip off very little bit off each tip. You just want a hole there. The tips aren't really going to show. Okay, so I have those pieces and my tips are snipped. I'm going to take my wire and just pull out a piece. I know you can't really see it, it's too thin. Just pull out a piece. This is about 12 inches long. And I'm just going to snip my wire with regular wire cutters that I had to steal from my husband. I was using my button shank doohickeys and I broke them. So he let me use it. He says, this is from the toolbox that you're not allowed to use. So then with the bottom piece, it doesn't matter what you do with it. I'm just making just a round piece like that. Just so it holds and it doesn't go up through the hole. Now, if you want to use ribbon, I would suggest using like a tapestry needle or a floss threader or something so you can, and I would tie the ribbon with a either a huge knot or put a bead at the bottom. And you'll need something to go up through the hole. So, like a long needle or something like that. So the way he did this was he put these together before he put the wire up through, which I don't know that it matters. I think you could do it like, let's try it this way. So you want to make sure, well, however you're securing it, it's not going to pull itself through the hole. And then you're going to take your second one and put it on. Of course, you're going from the biggest to the smallest. I had a really hard time pushing mine up through. And then what I did was use a little bit of Elmer's glue. And I put the glue, I'll show you here. I put a dab of glue there and a dab of glue there. And then I flipped it over and did the same thing. Now, Elmer's glue does not dry as fast as some of the glue, so you'd have a little time to work. Then you could bring this down on the wire. And what you want to do is set these together. You want to put kind of them over each other. If you can see what I'm doing there, kind of like layered on each other. I'll show you with the other two off the wire here in a second, because it's really hard to show on camera. And then just push that down. So what you'll want to do, you're going to put your glue, you have your triangle piece, you're going to put your glue here and here, and in this piece, those two pieces are going to go right in those grooves. Let me show you on this. I have this one in just plain yellow. You're going to put your glue here and here, and then your next piece is going to go like that. That's a good way to show it. And then you're going to do that on all four pieces, all four folds. It's harder to show when the colors are similar. So then I'm going to put my glue here and here. I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. If you have tacky glue, that might work as well. And then you're going to take your next piece, stick it on your wire. Now I made this wire way too long. You probably only need 6 inches or so. I made it 12 inches. And then I'm going to put those pieces in there so they get into the glue. And push that down real good and hold that side down while I do this other side. Push that piece in. And that, now this is easier to do with this than it was with the paper, putting it together. So then I have 3 pieces so far. And then I'm going to put my glue, squeeze it in each. Now he showed it probably a little bit better. He used a toothpick in his glue. So if you don't have a fine metal tip, you can use a toothpick. I would definitely suggest watching his video because I think he did a much better job explaining it than I do. And like I said, this is way too long of a piece of wire. And you have a little bit of a minute to work your glue. There we go. You have a minute, like I said, to line them up and make sure they're facing all the right way and are lined up kind of nice. So there you have that tree. And what I will do is put the star on. So you just pick which side you want to be the bottom and the top of your star. I'm going to have this piece be the bottom. And I'm just going to take my really sharp craft knife and just poke a little hole in the bottom. Just be careful, don't cut your fingers. So you just want to poke a hole in the bottom. You can come around to the very top and poke a hole in the top with your craft knife. And then I also used this pokey tool and got it really good at the top. I have to find where I made my bottom hole. There's my bottom. And then come around to the top and poke it down through. This is the important part, why you'll need some sort of a needle to bring your ribbon up through if you don't have wire. And you just bring your wire right through that. And then once you get it all put together, you'll want to put probably a little bit of glue there. Uh-oh. I didn't have enough stuff at the bottom of my wire. So I'm going to take my wire. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm even going to go one step farther. I'm going to take a bead. This is what you would do if you had ribbon. And put your bead down to the end of that wire. And you'll want to, I'm just twisting it off like that. Twisting that off. And that's not going to come up through. And then you would take it, and if you were using ribbon, use a tapestry needle or a floss threader, if you can get the floss threader to go up, and work it all the way up to the top. And that bead will not let it go through the hole. Now that bead is also going to hold that bottom piece open a little bit. And if you wanted to, you could, if you were using ribbon, have the bead hang out the bottom or have some charms down there. You could do anything like that. And then I will take this again at the top. Okay, then we pull it through the top. And then I will first of all, I will turn that sideways so it doesn't fall off. Trim my wire and then use my round nose pliers to make a loop. If you don't have round nose pliers and your wire is thin, you could probably even use your hands to make a loop or needle nose pliers. I am not a jewelry maker at all. There you go. And then I'm going to snip off the excess. And straighten out my loop. So there I have my little loop at the top. And there I have my recycled Christmas card tree ornament. So let me get some of this stuff out of the way. So here we have it in paper and here we have it in a Christmas card. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you understand how to make it. Like I said, go watch his video. I'm sure he gives a much better description than I do. If you don't have wire, you can try ribbon with a big needle or a floss threader. If you don't know what floss threaders are, they are these. I happen to have one handy. You can get them at the drugstore by the toothpaste and the floss. Therefore, when you have braces, you put your dental floss in them, and you can, let me get a piece of white paper. You put your dental floss in them, and you can get your floss to go around your wire. And you would just put your ribbon through there and use that to thread it on up through, if you happen to have those. If not, try some sort of a tapestry ribbon, or a big long, not ribbon, needle, a big long needle with some yarn, or embroidery floss, baker's twine, something like that. And if you could also leave these flat if you wanted to just leave them flat. Do not put the wire in, just glue them together, leave it flat, put a flat embellishment on the top, and that would be really pretty on a card base. It would be a really pretty flat card. So that is another option that you can do. Once you have a bead in there, though, it won't lay flat. But the bead is kind of nice because it helps it hold its shape. And once you're done with it, when that before that glue dries all the way, you can kind of puff out your tree a little bit, give it some shape. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and these Christmas ornaments. They're kind of fun. And of course, in the top here, you could tie a ribbon and hang it from your tree. Thank you for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do click that button. Click on the bell so you know when I upload a new video. I love to recycle Christmas cards and do all kinds of neat little crafts. This is definitely new for me, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you find it useful. Head on over to my Facebook group, Create with Crafty Rhea, and if you make these, please share with us what you make and what you use to make them, because I would love to see it. I bet these would be really pretty with glitter paper on the tree. That would be really nice. So if you do that, just please, please, please come on over and show us. Like I said, thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you. And until the next time, go get crafting. Bye-bye.